Oh baby, what do you do when you have a guest bathroom that is a plain white boring box that needs to pop? You sit down and you call. Welcome back to Laugh Cry DIY. I am Katie and I am a color-loving maximalist who loves nothing more than getting color into renters' homes. So today is a great day because we are going to do a virtual makeover on a boring basic bathroom that happens to belong to my best friend. So here's where we're starting. This is Rachel's guest bathroom. It has been through many tenants and renters, and it is basically a very plain, boring, but kind of busted white box. But Rachel is not boring. She is bold and bright and colorful, and she needs a bathroom to match. And most importantly, we wanted to create a super fun bathroom that was also a really vibey space for her to take her baths in. Now, best of all, Rach loves 80s postmodern design. If you are not familiar with this aesthetic, you probably are, you just don't realize it. So this was a very fun and bold and playful and theatrical design style that came out of like the 80s and some of the early 90s. It's super playful and fun. It's all about like exaggerated shapes and silhouettes, fun patterns. Now you are probably familiar with the most common execution of this design, which was the Memphis design style, which you'll recognize from things like the Pee-wee's Playhouse set, which was really bold and playful and had those exaggerated shapes. You would also recognize it from Saved by the Bell. You might think of the credits of Saved by the Bell or even some of the sets like the Max, which were super Memphis inspired. Rach is also a very fun like raver girl, so we want to get in a lot of fun color and shapes. So today I'm gonna walk you through every step of that makeover. We're gonna talk about my design decisions, and we're gonna bring this colorful creation to life. So let's start with Rach's mood boards. As you can see here, we have a lot of bold colors. We have a lot of color blocking. We have a lot of geometric shapes like square tiles and wavy curves. As you can see here, it's super fun, it's super eye-catching. To me, these rooms are just fun, colorful explosions that make you happy the minute you walk in. But how do we translate this kind of outrageous aesthetic into a very simple builder grade white box bathroom? Don't worry, we can do it within our budget, within our restrictions, with the power of paint. Painting is always the most budget-friendly option for making a really dramatic impact, and fortunately, Rach can paint in her rental. So I'm gonna take that to the extreme in a few simple steps that are going to totally transform this room. But first, let's clear out this room and start with a blank slate. Okay, so we're gonna start with a color wash of the room. And one of the colors that Rach really loved on her mood board was this kind of pinky lavender that showed up in quite a few photos. So we're gonna start by doing a full color wash of the room. This shade is really pretty, it's very glowy, gives you like nice pink light in the room. So it's the perfect base. Now next up, we are going to maximize the space and play with the visual lines in the room by adding a half wall in this beautiful apricot color. I've done this technique in other rooms before. If you do a darker color on a bottom half wall, it makes the room feel a lot taller. That's not necessarily a priority in this room, but just so you know, it's a cool effect if you are looking to manipulate your space visually. So we have this kind of pink and apricot color blocking. Now, one challenge here when you're color blocking any space is you want to think about the saturation of your colors, meaning how kind of muted or how vibrant they are. Because if you have a really light color and a really dark color, one is going to totally overpower the other, and you can kind of lose the overall impact of it. So just be mindful of that when you do your own postmodern makeover in your own guest bathroom. So we have done this color blocking effect on the walls, but that is not enough. We need to use every piece of this room. So we're also gonna add that apricot color to the ceiling. Boom. I love painting ceilings. It gives you such a 360 effect when you walk into a room. And for this room, I want guests to feel like Dorothy Gale when she opens the door into Oz. Like I just want a full, aggressive color assault. And painting the ceiling achieves that. Now at this point, this room is basically still a neutral minimalist room in my opinion. We need more personality, more pizzazz, and we're gonna do that by adding a fun little pattern. Rachel's inspo photos all had a lot of really fun, colorful tile, but we are in a rental, we are lazy girls, we are not renovating, but I wanted to add the illusion of a tile by adding this checkerboard pattern to the bottom half. Now I considered adding fake white grout lines between the pattern to make it look a little more faux tile realistic, but to be honest, that is a pain in the ass. Now you'll notice I did choose this slightly darker orange shade. It is just slightly darker than the apricot. Again, I wanted there to be enough contrast, but I didn't want it to overpower because I want you to kind of to be able to blink and see the whole room in one. Does that make sense? So we just made it a slightly darker orange shade to make the pattern pop, but not like pop your eyeballs out. I apologize for that metaphor. Okay, now Up to this point, we have been very worried with matching saturation of all the colors in the space. But now it is time to up the contrast with a super bold, super fun accent color that we're going to introduce by contact papering the cabinets blue. If you're a renter and you don't have cabinets that are painted and the paint will peel off, you can contact paper cabinets to change the color, and we've done this many times on the channel. I will link a little tutorial video below, but this is such a fun, easy hack, and it's really easy to do in a bathroom where you don't have that much cabinetry. So you can always consider that if you're looking for a change. Now I chose this blue because it's really vibrant and bold, and it's very reminiscent of Eve Klein blue, which was this really bold electric blue that you would see in the 80s a lot too. Now, we've been talking about color, but let's talk about shapes. You will notice up to this point, with all of our color blocking, there are a lot of square shapes in the room. We got the ceiling, we got the walls, we got the checkerboard, we have the square cabinet. So we need to add in more visual interest and contrast by introducing more curves and waves. And we're gonna start by adding this kind of wavy abstract mirror in that same blue color. But we're not done because this is a functional bathroom and Rach does need a bit of storage. So we're also gonna add some wavy shelves also in that blue color. Now, when you're designing any room, you want some visual interest. So you wanna mix up your silhouettes and you wanna repeat those silhouettes throughout the room so that everything speaks to each other. So we're gonna continue our curvy girl pattern by also adding round handles to that cabinet. We're gonna use that pink as a contrasting color since we have so much of the orange and apricot in the space. And I like that these handles are kind of oversized, which speaks to that more like playful, exaggerated postmodern aesthetic. So we've added these extra items, but you'll notice that this room has a lot of blue on one side. So we're gonna kind of balance that out and carry that over by actually painting all of the trim blue as well. That may feel controversial and aggressive and very in your face, and that's only because it is. Now, to round this out, we're gonna add a little colored vinyl shower curtain in there. From the beginning of this makeover, a colored vinyl shower curtain was Rachel's only request, and I'm so happy to say I worked so hard to give that to her. So by this point, we have a lot of things going on in the space. We got color, we got pattern, we got shapes, but we're still not done. We're gonna add even more to speak to Rachel's raver girl lifestyle. So we're gonna add this trippy black and white bath mat, as well as some fun black and white towels, and maybe even a little piece of art. Black and white graphic patterns were very popular in postmodern design, and honestly, they're basically a neutral in my opinion, so you can pretty much always add black and white to any room and it's gonna work. And there you have it, folks. We have turned this bathroom from a boring box into a high drama postmodern raver girl dream. So I hope you had fun walking through the design process with me. Now, on my channel, I do virtual designs, but I don't always get to see the execution because people take them and they do whatever they want in their lives. But I'm happy to say we will be bringing this design to life in an upcoming episode, so keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, if you're looking for more design inspo, you can check out my virtual makeover playlist. I also have my regular makeover playlist. I also have a monthly newsletter you can sign up for where I send fun DIYs and design and inspiration. And again, we will be bringing this room to life in an episode coming very soon. So until then, stay cool and stay colorful.